Hi, my name is Jamie Ireland, and I did my project on the voodoo in New Orleans. The origins of voodoo. It originated in Haiti and it was brought over by enslaved West Africans. In Haiti at the time, that was where slaves kind of primarily were before they were brought over to the US. And from there, followers that fled Haiti moved to New Orleans after the 1791 slave revolt. This brought their religious beliefs, customs, and culture with them when they fled. The religion of Voodoo. Their core belief is that spirits guide our daily lives in different aspects and that it isn't under one God. They refer to these spirits that guide us as Loa, and they believe there is a supreme being named Bondi who is an uninvolved creator of these spirits. Uh, Pretty much what they do during this time is they give offerings, conduct rituals, and would do spiritual possessions to get closer to the spiritual world. It wasn't a source of evil or a source of trying to conjure up things to hurt people. It was really just to connect to the spiritual world and a sort of healing. The diffusion from Haiti. The religion changed from when the slaves escaped from Haiti into New Orleans. In New Orleans at the time, across the US, there was a 1685 law that banned all African religious practices across the US. When they came over, they had to abide by the Catholic beliefs because that was what was widely worshipped across the US. And they had a law within the Catholic Church that said all Africans kind of had to abide by this custom. So another thing with the Catholic Church is they saw spirit possession and voodoo practices as evil. In this time, in order to hide their beliefs, slaves would disguise the spirits they worshipped underneath the saints within the Catholic Church. So they would kind of preach to these Loa as their spirits, but kind of disguise them underneath as the saints of the Catholic Church. And this also allowed them to continue their religious practices in secret. Practitioners. Some wealthy and well-known followers of Voodoo appoint kings and queens of the religion to help lead others and followers of the religion. The two most famous practitioners were Marie Laveau and Dr. John. Marie Laveau lived in the French Quarter on St. Anne Street, in New Orleans. And she attended Mass at the St. Louis Cathedral and was loved by many people of New Orleans. She was seen pretty much as an icon over there. People would visit her house all hours of the day and night asking for help with things that regarded to work, personal life, medical health, all of it. She would help enslaved servants and their escapees. She was also notorious for adopting children, feeding the hungry, and nursing the sick during the yellow fever epidemic. Her house was covered in candles and altars to protect her house from evil spirits. She set this up as well as many other people in the town to kind of protect her home as like a safe haven. And people also put offerings on her tomb to this day in the St. Louis Cemetery #1 in New Orleans. There's also Dr. John. He was known as Bayou John as well. He was born in Senegal and he was a kidnapped slave and brought over to Cuba. At that time, he was able to finally make his way over to the US, and that's when he came to New Orleans as a cotton roller. And he became part of the voodoo community and was later appointed their king. And he became an excellent healer and fortune teller. And he was the teacher of Marie Laveau before she was appointed like the voodoo queen. The Congo Square. This is located in Armstrong Park in the French Quarter, and it was served as a gathering place for enslaved Africans at the time. It was reserved for Africans to express their traditions and culture, including voodoo, and it would help hold spiritual ceremonies, drum circles, and celebrations there. And to this day, they still continue to host cultural meetings. And then voodoo today. Although it's not as common, voodoo is still practiced across New Orleans and as well as the French Quarter. And even though it does happen, it's more private. so rituals and practices are typically held more privately. And there are many museums and shops today that you can visit to learn more about the history of New Orleans. Um, the history of New Orleans, as well as the history of Voodoo, which is also located in the French Quarter. And these are my sources. Thank you.